So it's the first one in 2 months. It's Liverbird Lounge. We're back.
Due to
Liverbird
popular
Lounge.
demand by some fans on the Ellistone Freestylers videos on YouTube, there was a clamour for Liverbird Lounge to come back because a particular fella who's on it with Evan.
Right, yeah. Welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. So it's been 2 months since we filmed the podcast episode. Obviously, the last time we did film a podcast episode, we lost the Community Shield. It's not a trophy though, isn't it, really? But yeah, that's the last podcast episode we filmed. A lot has happened in that time. Let's go from the start of the season, because obviously the season hadn't officially started really when it was a Community Shield. So let's go from the start of the season. So, yeah, late winners and lucky wins. So what did you think to the start of the season then? Let's go from there.
I thought, here we go. We're going to carry on where we left off last season. There was a bit of that. It didn't feel right. We were digging wins out and stuff, but you know, as the old saying goes, it's sign of champions when they win when they're not winning when they're not playing well. But you could sort of see what came after those first sort of 5 games coming, I think. Not to the extent it did, but start of the season, I thought, here we go, 15 points out of 15. We'd beaten Arsenal. We'd beaten Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and I thought, here we go. This is going to carry on from where we left off last season. And then, of course, it didn't.
Yeah. So it started with a 2-1 loss away at Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park, and
I'm absolutely sick of the sight of Crystal Palace.
We'd gone 1-0 down. We'd gone 1-0 down to Ismail Assar, and then it was like 50 minutes later, Chiesa scores a goal. Okay, it's not going to be a win, but at least we haven't lost the game yet. And then you see 10, 20 minutes later, Ekitike, he plays for us, and Nketiah scores a last-minute winner for Crystal Palace. And you're thinking, yeah, I think that was coming. We haven't been playing well for 5, 6, 7 games. We weren't playing well in pre-season, but obviously pre-season doesn't really matter to the extent of a league game. So, yeah, you're thinking, okay, we'll take it on the chin. It's just a loss. You know, we move on to the next game. The next game, I think, was Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. We go 1-0 down again.
I think we had Galatasaray in between, didn't we?
I think maybe we did. Yeah, I think maybe you're correct with that one. Obviously, we lost to Galatasaray in the Champions League, 1-0. And we played horrifically that game. We weren't great at all. And we didn't even look like scoring in that game.
Do you know what? Apart from some of the problems with the selection and on the pitch and players out of form, I think it's the first time I can remember, or the first time I can recall, a Liverpool team being affected by an atmosphere.
Yeah.
At Galatasaray. It was, you know, I mean, Slot made the ridiculous comment that he couldn't get his points across because it was too noisy and the team couldn't hear him, which was just a daft thing to say. But I get that it was loud, noisy, it was hostile, and it's the first time I think that I can think of I've known a Liverpool team maybe be affected by a hostile atmosphere somewhere.
Yeah, obviously the Galatasaray atmosphere, it can be very fierce. They've got some crazy fans, and obviously it was the Liverpool fans. There would have been obviously, you know, blocked out by the majority, which was Galatasaray fans. And yeah, I think Slot has maybe made some ridiculous comments over some of these games where we've lost, and then obviously continue to Chelsea, which I was just about to talk about, where we lost again 2-1. It started with us going 1-0 down, a pattern that we've seen quite a bit this season so far. we were losing 1-0, Moses Caicedo, and then obviously Gakpo scores the goal to bring us back level. And then you're thinking, okay, let's hold on, last 20 minutes of the game, and Chelsea just did not just look like scoring for those 20 minutes. And you're thinking, this can't end 1-1. I just don't see this ending 1-1. And then it just got to the point where obviously Chelsea scored the second goal, their second goal of the game, and they won the game. And then maybe you're getting a bit worried, but it's 3 games we've lost at this point. And then what was the next game after that? I do forget. Was it United at home? I think it was United at home.
Did we not beat Frankfurt?
No, that was after United. That was after United.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, we lost 2-1 to United at home. I don't even think they played that well.
No, they didn't. And that's what sticks in the throat. That sort of in the old days, in the 90s and the early 2000s, when you got beat by Man United, you sort of had to hold your hands up a lot of the time and go, yeah, fair enough. Because they, pains me to say it, admittedly had great sides in that era, and you sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and go, yeah, we've got beaten by the better side. But in every single position this season, we have got better players, and it really, really deflated me to lose to them at home with the team that they've got. Really, really annoying.
I think we got cheated in that game though. McAllister.
The first goal shouldn't have stood. It's as simple as that. It shouldn't. But you can't use that as an excuse. We could have played better, should have played better.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, Arne Slot, I think he said something along the lines of they've played players in this game that they haven't played in some of their other games. And I just thought, mate, what are you talking about? We've lost a game of football there. Just take it on the chin and move on to the next one. And the next one was Brentford away. We lost 3-2, and that's 4 losses in a row. And then I think they played brilliantly. We were awful as well, though. Online there was a massive there was a trend. Hashtag Slot out or sack Slot. I was never Slot out. We just won the league title with us. But maybe you're thinking if we'd have lost to Villa and Real Madrid, there's maybe been questions asked. What's your opinion on that?
I certainly think after his team selection and the debacle against Palace in the Carabao Cup, which I was initially really, really annoyed with, we're not having a single senior player even on the bench was madness. That team was put out there like lambs to the slaughter. There was no way that team was going to beat a very good established Crystal Palace side. I think if we'd not beaten Villa and we'd not beaten Madrid, then I seriously think we could have then started asking questions, to be honest. But in the long run, it turned out that he probably made the right call. I still don't like the fact that we almost conceded that game at home. But in terms of the bigger picture, if you like, we did beat Villa without conceding a goal, and we did beat Real Madrid without conceding a goal. So in that respect, he probably made the right call, and let's see how we get on Sunday, eh?
Yeah, obviously City on Sunday. They're in some pretty decent form right now. Obviously Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world right now. He's doing very well. And obviously, Liverpool, we've just won 2 games in a row, 2 games without conceding a goal. Hopefully we build on that and we take that into Sunday's game. And I'm going to talk about the Frankfurt game. There was something in that game where I think I maybe got a bit too confident too quickly. And obviously we beat them 5-1. I think they'd got beaten 5-1 the previous game as well, and I don't think they're doing too great in the Bundesliga either. And I saw something in that game where I thought, this Liverpool team I think is going to start to kick on. We've got the right formation in my opinion, and we've got the right players to do it in the right positions. So I think we'll be able to kick on. And then we lost 3-2 to Brentford, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And yeah, I was starting to get a bit worried when we were losing games. Obviously 4 games in a row is not a record that any team wants at all. And it's not, I mean, we're not going to win the title now, the Premier League title, because Arsenal haven't conceded a goal since they played Newcastle, and I think that was back in early October.
I think it's 8 games on the bounce now.
8 games,
kept
yeah.
Clean sheet,
They didn't,
which is phenomenal.
They didn't concede a goal in the month of October, so I think it could have been late September when they conceded their last goal. They've conceded 3 goals this whole season so far, and you can definitely see them still being top. If my opinion is, if a team is top from say September-ish when the season starts to Christmas, they've got a very, very good chance of winning the league. Obviously, things can change if you're top at Christmas, but I think Arsenal is going to be Arsenal's year, and I think Liverpool have bottled it before we've even really started our title defence. You can't win a league with 4 losses in a row.
I don't like the term bottled it, Ev. It's not always about bottling it. I think that's a term that's used as an insult from fans of other clubs. We're only in November. Arsenal will have a blip. So, let's just see where we go.
I don't think you can win a title with 4 losses, though.
Look, you're probably right. You're probably
4
right, but let's
November.
not write it off. If Tuesday night's anything to go by, let's hope it's not just a flash in the pan on Tuesday night. Let's hope it's more of a
consistency.
Yeah. And let's see how we get on there. I'll tell you now, we can play like we did on Tuesday night consistently. There's not many teams around who will be able to beat us, I can assure you of that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think obviously there's still 2 more competitions we can fight for. Obviously we're out the League Cup, but there's still the Champions League and the FA Cup to go for, and yeah, it's 3 losses out of. It's not 3 losses. It's 3 wins out of 4 games that we've played in the Champions League so far, and we could definitely still go for the Champions League in my opinion. If we play, as you said, if we play like we did on Tuesday, every single game. Obviously, I think we'll have maybe a couple more losses before the end of the season. But
let's just see now, eh?
Yeah.
Let's just see and see where we go. You might be right with the Champions League might be a more realistic one to go for, but let's just keep racking the points up and seeing where it takes us. That's part of the fun of it. Let's just keep going, keep trying to play how we did on Tuesday night, which by the way is one of my favourite games of football ever, and let's see where that takes us at the end of the season.
Yeah. I think there's still the Champions League to go for, which, as you said, could be more realistic now, and there's obviously still the FA Cup to go for, which hasn't even started for the Premier League teams yet. I think I don't even think it's the second round yet.
Yeah, we played the first round. The second round.
First round's done. And the FA Cup doesn't even start for Premier League teams until sort of December, January time. I think it's in January.
Yeah, beginning of January.
Where the FA Cup starts for Premier League teams. So yeah, we could still win the FA Cup. Hopefully it's not as disastrous as it was last season. Yeah, we could certainly still try and make a push for the Premier League title. I think it will be very hard, though, considering what Arsenal have done so far this season. Obviously, we've still got maybe even challenge City for it as well. So, yeah, it's going to be hard. But, we've still got 2 other competitions to play for. So, why not go and win them? Why not try and win them?
Let's hope that Tuesday is an indicator of where we are and what we can do. That, for me, should be the team he plays now going forward. Take Mamdashvili out and put Alisson back in goal when Alisson's back fit. The balance looks so much better. We're playing players in the positions that they should be playing in. Wirtz looks like a different player playing in that position rather than a midfield 3.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai, McAllister and...
Ryan.
Ryan Gravenberch, the 3 in midfield look amazing. Canate looks back to some kind of...
Van Dizzle.
Van Dijk. Conor Bradley looks amazing. And most of all, let's play Robbo in as many games as we possibly can.
Yeah, I'm going to go on to that now. Robertson and Kirkes. Obviously, Kirkes has probably had... I want to say it without sounding mean, but he's had the worst start to his career at Liverpool that we... he's not had a very good start at all.
Do you know what I think? I think he was put into the team too quick. If you look at Klopp, there used to be... You used to sign players and you used to see them for weeks, sometimes months. I mean, ironically, look at Andy Robertson. He didn't get near the team for months because Alberto Moreno played left back. Moreno got injured. Robert come in. And voila, there you go. I think personally, Slot has done a bit of, we've bought him, so I'm going to play him. Quite honestly,
that's not worked.
I think there was a bit of that. We've spent this money, so we're going to play him.
Yeah.
Kirkes obviously was lauded last season, rightly so, for his performances.
Premier League team of the season
Bournemouth.
as well.
However, and this is absolutely no disrespect to Bournemouth whatsoever, it's a completely different kettle of fish to that, to playing at Liverpool.
Yeah.
He should have been eased in my view, and I think he's probably just got overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
And he's just not looked up to it. But hopefully
he kicks on.
He'll kick on.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I don't think Robbo can regularly play 3 games a week. But Robbo's the man at left back still for me.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can play Kirkes here and there, and he can start building up his confidence a bit and start playing his way into the team rather than just being chucked straight in.
Yeah, players should have to earn their spot in the team rather than just be thrown in. I think, obviously, what you said there, Arne Slot's just sort of gone, we've bought him, so we're going to play him. Which also leads me on to my next point. The striker position, obviously we signed £125 million Alexander Isak in the summer, and he's scored 1 goal and barely played. Obviously he's injured, but injured at the minute. You can't take a Katike out at the minute, in my opinion.
Absolutely not.
You can't.
Absolutely not. Again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I was as excited as anybody when we signed Isak.
I was up at midnight.
However, I personally don't think we should have signed both.
I think Gay here would have maybe been a better option.
The bigger priority for me, in retrospect. I think we should have either signed Ekatike and forgotten about Isak, or not signed Ekatike and concentrated on getting Isak.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see what kind of system and formation they can both play in.
Yeah.
But at the minute, you can't leave Ekatike out that team.
You can't.
And I'm just hoping that Slot doesn't think, we've spent 125 million on him, I better play him.
It's not how it works.
Again,
really.
He needs to earn his way into the team. He needs to play his way into the starting 11. Because Ekatike, people will say he did nothing on Tuesday. He was immense on Tuesday.
He was crazy good.
The runs he was making, the way he was holding the ball up.
Scored a goal, but it was
We've
offside.
got an absolute player on our hands with that lad. So, for me, if Isak is fit and comes straight back into the team at the expense of Ekatike,
I don't think it's going to work.
I would be livid if I was Ekatike, and I'd be livid myself personally.
Yeah.
Let's keep Isak on the bench for a little while, and let's see how things transpire.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think it's a case of, in some games we've maybe, if when he's back to fitness, maybe Ekatike goes off after about maybe 50 to 60 minutes, and we bring Isak on.
It depends how the game's going, Evan. Depends how he's playing at that time.
Oh, obviously.
It depends the shape of the game. It depends, what the game's looking like, what the shape of the game is. Yeah, if we're 2-0 up against someone with half an hour to go and look like we're cruising.
Maybe you do bring Isak on.
But, I think you have to manage that game by game rather than just, right, we'll take him off after 60 minutes and bring Isak on.
Yeah, obviously. I think obviously at some point this season we will have to play Isak. He's £125 million.
He'll get playing time. But it can't be at the expense of Ekatike at the minute.
Not at the minute. I think Ekatike gets... Ekatike, if you've got 3 brain cells that work, Ekatike gets straight into your team. And I think when I'd known about this, obviously Ekatike, for a bit before he signed for Liverpool. He was a hot prospect at Reims, and then obviously he signed for PSG. Didn't work at PSG, so then he went to Frankfurt on loan, and then obviously last season mustered at Frankfurt, and there was a few clubs looking at him. I think Man United were there. I think there was a couple of other European clubs, and then obviously Liverpool, obviously Newcastle as well in the summer. And when we heard the news that Ekatike looked like he was going to join Liverpool, I was like, okay, I like this. I'm looking forward to see what he can do for us. And then obviously you knew nothing about him by this point. And then he signed for us, and I was like, I'm excited to see how this goes, and start the season off like a house on fire, quick, you started the season off quick, very good. Scored in his first official two appearances for Liverpool, the Community Shield, and the game against Bournemouth, and then he scored against Newcastle. So, you start the season off really well.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Obviously, we had the little blip with his idiotic decision to take his shirt off against Southampton and get sent off. He seems to have learned his lesson from that. He looks a real handful. I can't see a situation at the minute where we can leave him out for Isak. Isak's going to have to bide his time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he is.
I think I was listening. Well, we both listened to it. We listened to a podcast by Liverbird.
Spotify, is it?
It's on Spotify.
Yeah, check them out.
They're absolutely brilliant. Proper football journalism, not for clickbaits, all the rest of it. Real entertaining, but real informative. Brilliant, anyway. And they made the point that it looks like we're watching a Liverpool team that's getting ready to play without Mo Salah.
Yeah, exactly.
But with Mo Salah still in the team.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an absolutely brilliant point to make. And I didn't really think of that until they said that. Mm-hmm. And then I've started looking at it and thinking, we're getting ready to be without Mo Salah. I have a sneaking suspicion that I don't think he'll be at Liverpool next season.
Really?
I don't know.
He'll go in the summer then?
Yeah, I do. And then obviously we will have to get on with the post-Salah era.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we're gearing up for.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Yeah, I think we're coming to the end of the Mo Salah era. Obviously, he's not had it's been a bit slow, his start to the season, but I think now maybe he can get back to his best form. And I think...
Just let me say, I thought he was brilliant on Tuesday.
Yeah, I thought he was amazing on Tuesday as well.
Absolutely brilliant.
Don't get me wrong.
Again, all these stat heads out there are like, oh, no goals.
On Twitter. Yeah.
He's running, he's holding up the ball. The way he drives forward and takes pressure off the defence, he doesn't get enough credit for that kind of thing. He'll run the ball into the line and into the corners, and even if it doesn't particularly go anywhere, it's taking pressure off you at the back. It's taking pressure off the midfield. He was brilliant the other night.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Fabulous.
brilliant.
Amazing.
Off the ball as much as on the ball. So let's not quite put Mo Salah down as being finished just yet. But I just have a feeling that I don't think he will be at Liverpool next season.
Yeah, obviously we were nearly in that sort of situation last season where it got to sort of March, April time, and neither Trent, Van Dijk or Salah would sign the contract. Obviously the most important two did end up signing contracts, and they're here for this season. And yeah, obviously I think Salah's had a bit of a slower start to the season than he would usual, but I think, as you said, it's more than goals and assists for Mo Salah, I think. But yeah, I think he's going to start to kick on now. I think he's in some good form. Scored against Villa.
He needed that.
Yeah, he did.
That little bit of luck, that little bit of fortune from the Martinez mistake, things like that can often sort of ignite and get a player's season back on track. You know, people will say when a striker's having a bit of a scoring drought, he just needs one to bounce off his bottom and go in the back of the net. He just needs something. And I think that was pretty similar for Mo's goal on Saturday. That he was a gift from Martinez, but he probably just needed that just to kickstart his season a little bit. Again, I think he was absolutely outstanding on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And let's not write him off yet.
No, we can't write him off. We can not write Mo Salah off. And when he was having a bit of a bad patch, obviously there was shouts for Chiesa to come in for him, and I even saw people, stupid, idiotic people online, saying Chiesa should start from now on, his way better than Salah, and I just think, what are you talking about?
I think Chiesa probably should have more playing time.
Yeah, definitely. He's underrated in my opinion.
For my personal view, not at the expense of Mo Salah playing personally.
No. Yeah, I think that Chiesa should have more game time. And I think he's been robbed of game time maybe in the past when Mo Salah's played badly and Slot's just been a bit stubborn and not subbed him off.
The thing is, what you get from Salah is a prime example is his goal at Brentford.
That was a great goal.
So ultimately it didn't really matter. But I can't think of another player who can do that. In our squad who can just make something out of nothing like that, like he can. So I think that was a prime example of why we play him all the time and why we leave him on. I mean, there's been times when I've been this season, I'll have all my hands up. For God's sake, why don't we take Mo off? For God's sake, it's like playing with 10 men. But he can do that kind of thing. And that's, I think, why we leave him there, because he can turn a game like that. And I don't know, I'm looking round our squad and thinking, who else can do that? That's where I think it's different for Mo. And it shows really that how little I know about football in that case, because it's clear that he is absolutely class.
Yeah, he's obviously... He was part of the Leverkusen squad that went, the full Bundesliga season without conceding a goal, without losing a game. So they went invincible. They nearly won the treble, invincible. That was an insane squad, and he was part of that. He was a very key figure of that squad. We brought him in. Excuse me. We brought him in because he's one of the best players in Europe, in my opinion, and he's done well for Germany. Obviously, partnering up with the likes of Jamal Musiala. So yeah, I think he's a great player, and I think some football fans at the start were going a bit too harsh on him. Obviously, he maybe started the season
I don't
off.
think we were playing him in the right position.
Yeah.
And it shows, really, that how little I know about football in that case, because it's clear that he is absolutely class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for Germany and at Leverkusen, he played further forward. We started playing him in a midfield three, and it just wasn't working. And then you look at him on Tuesday night playing in the front three with that midfield behind, with the Dom, Gravenberch and McAllister midfield behind. We looked a completely different team, and he looks a completely different player.
Yeah.
He was incredible on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Again, all the people still getting goals in the same today, but
007 as well. That's got to stop.
He's just class, and I can just say that as his confidence builds, as he integrates into the team more, Slot's hopefully now found the system he wants to play, the formation he wants to play, and now knows his best 11. Well, I think we will now see a completely world-class footballer at Anfield now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, obviously, Wirtz has only been in the squad for 3 months-ish, and, you know, he's one of my favourite players already. I've literally bought a shirt with his name on the back, so, you know, he's one of my favourite players. And, you know, I've backed him from the start. I've been saying, like, you know, I've been thinking when people have said stuff like, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's going to be good enough at Liverpool. I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. I've been saying, what are you on about? You can't judge a player off, you know, so many games. So, you know, I think we're going to, as you said, we're going to get a very, very, very good world-class footballer at Anfield. I think he's going to, he's going to be amazing, I think.
Absolutely.
In the future, it's going to be amazing.
It's exciting. I'm actually excited now, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play again on Sunday. He's that kind of player where Sunday. I'm thinking, I can't wait to see him again. He's going to be one of the top players, without question. Yeah. And I can't wait to see him develop and to see him just completely put his stamp across English football, because I believe that is what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he's capable of.
Obviously, we signed 2 players from Leverkusen in the summer. One who hasn't maybe been as good as the other. Obviously, Frimpong.
I don't know what to make of Frimpong yet. It's been 2 stoppy-starty. He's had 2 periods out with injury now already. I'm not really seeing enough of him to make any kind of decision. I think it was another case of, right, we've bought him, I'm going to play him.
Yeah.
Slinging him straight into the team. When Conor Bradley, for me, should have been right back. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had much of a chance yet to really show what he can do. Hopefully he's not going to be one of these that's constantly injured, constantly out the team.
Keita and a Thiago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll not put Thiago and Keita in the same sentence.
I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
But
different ball.
Let's see about Frimpong, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I think. I was excited for Frimpong coming. Obviously, he was going to be replacing a man that we do not name on this channel. He was going to be replacing, filling big boots. And I think, obviously, we've got to give him time. But I think Conor Bradley should now maybe be the is it right back? Right back, yeah?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, right back position from maybe now on. But obviously he's had 2 periods out with injury already, and we're hoping he's not just going to be one of these players who plays a couple of games and then, you know, the legs and muscles are just made out of glass. Hopefully he's not like that. Obviously, hoping the best for his recovery, hoping that he'll be back soon. But for now, yeah, Connor Bradley stays in that right back position for me. And that's the team we play. Obviously, when Alisson comes back, you have him in goal over Mammalashvili. And obviously, your back four, Bradley, Virgil, Konate and Robertson. Obviously, as you've said, Robertson I don't think can play 3 games a week.
No, not regularly.
So, you know, maybe putting Kirkers in there. And then your midfield 3 of Maka, Grav and Soboslai. And then your front 3 of Vert, Sekatike and Mo. I think that's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's how it's got to be. I think that works. Obviously, we saw that it worked on Tuesday night. We battered them. And the only reason we didn't score at least 3 or 4 goals the other night, one man, Thibaut Courtois. He was phenomenal. Like, Florian Wirtz would have had an assist and Soboslai would have had a goal if he hadn't have been their goalkeeper on Tuesday night. We would have, in my opinion, scored maybe even, obviously, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 if Courtois wasn't in goal on Tuesday. But yeah, what was your thoughts on his performance?
Pretty much backing up what you just said, mate. If it wasn't for Courtois, he's by far and away the second best goalkeeper in the world.
Alisson, yeah.
Just some amazing. He's an amazing all-round goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You have goalkeepers that are great shot stoppers, but not great at, you know, one-on-ones or crosses or holding the ball. He's just got absolutely everything. He's just incredible. Yeah. So it took a real good goal to beat him, and that goal was all about the ball in from Dom. So yeah, exciting times, mate.
Yeah, very exciting times. I think we've got now what looks like a very, 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 very good footballer in Florian Wirtz. He's starting to kick on, and I think this team is now starting to fully click, and we can get back to the Liverpool way of winning games and put the 4 losses, 5. It was like 6 losses in. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. 6. I'm gonna have to say it. 6. We've just lost. Obviously, we want to put we lost 6 out of 7 games behind us. But I really didn't want to say that. But yeah, we can put that behind us and hope for more wins. Hopefully, I'll personally cut my hair if Liverpool win 5 games in a row. But yeah, I think we can. All jokes aside, I think we can now start to see a Liverpool team that is going to maybe win games consistently, and that team that Arna played on Tuesday has to be the team that plays, full stop, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed, totally.
Pretty much backing up what you just said, mate. If it wasn't for Courtois, he's by far and away the second best goalkeeper in the world.
Alisson, yeah.
Just some amazing. He's an amazing all-round goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You have goalkeepers that are great shot stoppers, but not great at, you know, one-on-ones or crosses or holding the ball. He's just got absolutely everything. He's just incredible. Yeah. So it took a real good goal to beat him, and that goal was all about the ball in from Dom. So yeah, exciting times, mate.
That's the end of the episode. Quite a long one there. If you enjoyed that, as always, we'll be back every Thursday at 8 p.m. But this one is going to be filmed on the Thursday and posted on the Friday. So yeah, there will be one now.
It's good to be back.
It's good
Brilliant
to be back every Thursday without what is it? Without
fail.
Yeah, fail.
That's the one.
Yeah. Got my words mixed up there. Well, I just couldn't think of it. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video podcast, We'll be back every Thursday, 8 PM. You know what to do, which means like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on. I'll see you lovely on the next one. Please take care of your beautiful selves, and as always,
Peace out.
see you in the next one.